Hello and welcome to TV Warren's coverage of the Great Lakes Comic Convention 2020. My name is Ben Smith and that is Paul Smith.
And Ben, we are going to be here for 2 days at the GLCC. We're going to be talking to guests. We're going to be sending out to our floor reporters on the Comic-Con floor. We have so much to cover over these next 2 days.
Well, the Great Lakes Comic Convention 2020 starts now. You know, Paul, one of the more exciting things that happens here at the Great Lakes Comic Convention is when all the kids come into town with their amazing costumes. You know, they spend a lot of time putting these together, whether they're dressed as their favorite hero, villain, cartoon character, or even original creations. You see them all over the Comic-Con floor.
And you know, spending that amount of time, you're going to want to get compensated for that.
Hey.
And there's a panel of judges here. They're going to judge these kids' costumes contest and give them a little Comic-Con bucks. So that's why we sent Megan Price on over to the kids' costume contest. Megan, take it away.
I've been cosplaying for about 8 years now, so yeah, they have me as a judge.
Talk to me about what are you guys looking for the kids' costume?
Yep, we always ask because we want the kids to be in it, right? Like the whole point is for the new generation to come up and like learn how to do it. So you want to have a decent balance of like, did mom help, but did you also help those things? And it also presentation, right? If you're a character, like you better kung fu. If you're a princess, you better, right?
So tell me about the first and second place kids costume winners. What were you guys looking for? What did you see?
The first place was really, really cool. He was Hellboy. His father helped him with a lot of the stuff, but he also had a hand in it. And that's what we look for. We look for kids to be excited about what they're wearing, but also excited to like help make the project, right?
So you just won first place. Talk to me about your costume. Who are you?
I'm Hellboy. My right hand of doom was made out of cardboard and duct tape and foam all together. My dad spray painted the duct tape and got this hockey glove and then spray painted this. Then I got a Nerf gun from one of my drawers. My dad painted all this. I took a mad scientist cap. Then I took some foam and then I latexed the horns, cut off horns, onto it, and then my dad spray painted the rest.
Wonderful. About how long do you guys think you worked on this really awesome project?
Probably a week.
And how do you feel about winning?
It's pretty cool, I like it.
And then the second place, he was actually a garbage pail kid, Atom Bomb. I have never in my life seen anything like that. That was just extremely creative.
All right, so you just won second place for the kids' costume. Tell me about your costume. Who are you?
I am Atom Bomb, the garbage pail kid, and I have a yellow tie with orange stripes on it, and the pants, I can't look down that far, are shorts. And the explosion, what I'm wearing, it's a hard hat suspension, and then that's attached to a rod, which goes up through a cone, and then the cone attaches to all these circles. I use insulation. I use like a spray glue to put it all together. Then this is all insulation foam, which I painted, and then this skin, it's a mask that we cut.
How does it feel to win?
It's awesome. Like, I like doing cosplay. It's since I went to my first convention, it started just to be a hobby, and I've already narrowed my search down to 3 people for next year.
And our third place was really cool too. He actually helped with most of the stuff. Yeah, he told us all about how we did certain things, and I was blown away.
Wonderful. And can you tell me about your costume that you won third place today for?
Because it's homemade, and I wanted to do it because it looked cool in the mask, and this did it, and it's made out pipe cleaners, and this is foam and straws for the little gas tank things, and then this is gas things.
And how long did it take you to make this outfit?
It took like 5 hours.
And what is your favorite thing about being in this competition?
Because it's my first time being to a Comic-Con.
Oh my gosh, the kids are the cutest thing in the entire world. It's my favorite part to judge because they're all like so shy but so full of energy.
Coming up next on TV Warren's coverage of the Great Lakes Comic Convention, Eisner Nominated Comic creator Kyle Starks joins us on set.
So we just got a new intern this week, and it's been weird. We're realizing that he's not much of a people person. I don't think it's going to work out.
Turn up the flames. Catch all new episodes of Cooking with Fire with the Warren Fire Department. Each month, TV Warren will feature a member of the Warren Fire Department sharing their unique firehouse recipes. You won't want to miss their creative and delicious meals. Tune in to TV Warren to watch all new episodes of Cooking with Fire. Welcome back to TV Warren's coverage of the Great Lakes Comic Convention. We are here now with Kyle Starks, Eisner Nominated creator of his book Sex Castle and work including on Mars Attacks, Rick and Morty, and plethora of others.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us here
Yeah,
on our
I'm
set today.
stoked to be here, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks.
awesome. Thank you so much. So first, what got you into this creative world that you're in?
Yeah, man. So my comics origin story is all right. I worked in a comic book store in the 90s. Comics were not super good then, so I got out of comics in the 90s. I went to school to be a painter, a fine artist. I then was an alcoholic for many years. When I started to have kids, though, I started making a list of like the things that I will never get to do once I have my second kid. And the first one was like I never finished a comic, so I did a comic privately. I put it on a website. People found it. Like I didn't advertise or anything. People started talking about me. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. Strangely, I found I really loved telling stories in this manner. So I did another book, which was Sex Castle. Yeah. I kickstarted the first book. It never got published. We don't need to talk about that. Sex Castle was, I kickstarted it. I did shows. Matt Fraction, who's a big name in comics, read it on a plane once. He's like, do you want to talk to a publisher? Which was Image Comics. I said, yes. That book was optioned by the Russo brothers and the Workaholics before it came out. It was nominated for an Eisner Award, which is the Oscar of comic books. Yeah. So I kind of went from just screwing around, like just goofing off, to suddenly people want to read my comic book. So
like, wow, that's sick.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean, even then, I just like told my wife, it's like, man, what a great hobby. Like this hobby pays me money. The factory I worked at in Southern Indiana closed down. So wife was like, well, do you think could we make it like a year, 2 years? I'm like, I don't know. Sex Castle was nominated for Best Humor Publication. And if you do something funny in comics, basically everyone in comics who has something funny wants you to do it because there's not that many actually legitimately funny things. So I did Rick and Morty for the last 4 years, and I've been doing comics professionally for the last 4 years with no plan to do it. I just found a media I really loved and love telling stories in, and am half good at.
Well, if you're half good, then you're
So
you got a lot of ceiling there still. So what's the process like? You get an idea, it's there in your head, it's just a little something. What's the next step? Where do you go?
So for my stuff is different than working for like a licensed book like Rick and Morty.
Sure.
For my stuff, I tend to just tell myself the story over and over and over. The way that I make comics is not recommended. It's not smart.
Yeah.
Since I am a cartoonist, which means I write and draw, when I do my own books, I tell myself the story over and over and over until the last time I tell it, I'm like, that's it. It's exactly the way I want it. I then just start drawing the comic book.
Yeah.
Not recommended. It's better to have a script and a plan, in which I have an outline and beats, but for the most part, I go into it. I do a lot of comedy and action, and those things to me need to be very organic.
Yeah.
So I want to be amused and entertained by what I'm making in the moment. So it's not not recommended though.
Right.
If you're doing for you, then that's fine. I'm now doing a lot more writing than I am cartooning because my writing is stronger. So for that, it's it's a lot of script writing and it's a lot of beats, figuring out pages. You have to be very precise about these things.
Sure.
For the Rick and Morty stuff, I love Rick and Morty. I was really honored they asked me to do it.
And so obviously you said you worked, you got the job with Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
How did you land that job? It's like it's one of the most popular cartoon shows out right
Well,
now. How did you get that?
Here's the thing: it's the most popular now. But when I started, it was after season. It was an unknown. Rick and Morty did not become what it is today, which is maybe the most popular thing on earth, until they put it on Hulu. I did shows, so I started doing it 4 years ago. Like I said, they asked me because I wrote a funny book. And I love the show. So, I mean, they asked me, I did one issue of Invader Zim. And I was like, man,
Great show,
I'm 40, yeah, I'm 42. So no, I was in college, I was in art school. I was inebriated. I didn't see that.
Right.
And so I don't get, it's not for me, but it's the same idea.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, I wish they would have asked me to do Rick and Morty because I love Rick and Morty. I love Dan Harmon. They did. But at the time, I did a show where I sold no books. No one knew what it was. Maybe 1 or 2 people would know. And it's like, man, I remember telling my wife, I was like, this might have been a mistake. I might have my name. I love this show, but if no one liked it. Yeah, that's like, remember he worked on that. Anyway, the next show I did was just like this, right? They had their VIP section. I sold everything I had in the VIP window in the 1 hour before the show. It was a 3-day show. So there was
wow.
Yeah. So when I started, they were just looking for funny people to do this thing they thought was funny. It was not the phenomenon it is now. Now I've done more issues of the comic than there are episodes of the show. So I'm technically the most prolific Rick and Morty creator on the planet, which is an honor. I love it. Unlike my stuff, I was saying earlier, for Rick and Morty, my thing is entirely I just want to make more Rick and Morty. I'm not trying to tell a Kyle Stark story.
You're telling the Rick and Morty story.
Yeah, because that's what I want. When you get a licensed thing, you want it to be more of that.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be, here's so-and-so's take on it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's why I've got to do it so long. So it's because I'm honored that.
I remember when that show first came out, and I tried to get a bunch of people to watch it. I'm like, hey, this new show just came up on.
They didn't watch it.
No one wanted to watch it. I'm like, it was the Me Seek Destroy episode was the first one.
That's the best one, yeah.
They're like, this is stupid. Yeah. This isn't a good show. And all of a sudden, a year later, everyone's like, hey, Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
I'm like, I told you
That's
guys
exactly
about
right.
this.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
I remember, like I said, I love Dan Harmon, and I remember seeing the Adult Swim commercial, and I was like, man, it just looks terrible. And I now draw that way for a living. So once again, irony on top of ironies of my career.
So now after the show blows up and it becomes what it is and it's this hugely popular success, how much do you and the TV side work together?
I have carte blanche. So ostensibly, Justin Roiland, who's the co-creator of the show and the voice of Rick and Morty, amongst 1,000 other voices, ostensibly he approves each issue, but it's always just like, ha, 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 that's funny. They've always let me do what I want, and I think, again, the reason why that is because I'm true to their vision. I'm very careful to make sure things don't contradict each other. I'm not writing Unity's origin story, because they're going to do. Unity will come back, and then you'll be like, oh, Kyle Stark says she liked pizza. Right. That whole episode was like, she doesn't like pizza.
Right.
So, yeah, man, it's been crazy, because like I said, when I first started, no one cared. I just thought it was a cool show. I thought everyone would like it, but I did not think eventually there'd be toilet paper and cereals. That's a little bit of a shock too.
I think it's a Pickle Rick cereal now that they're coming up with.
Yeah. Pickle Rick Pringles.
Oh, Pringles. Yeah.
There's a cereal too.
Yeah,
there's a cereal too. It's crazy. So yeah, it's been wild. They let me do what I want. They're making a lot more money than I am, obviously. I wrote a 90-second spot for this season that they haven't used yet. I don't know what it is. But that's the first time they've asked me to do stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I talked to Justin.
But it could lead to more and more things with them if they really,
Yeah, you never know.
You never know, right?
Yeah.
More with Kyle Starks when TV Warren's coverage of the Great Lakes Comic Convention returns.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
whoa, what did I tell you guys about pillaging the truck?
Ridiculous. It's like the 4th time this week.
Yeah, ridiculous, come on.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Great Lakes Comic Convention, our coverage right here on TV Warren. We are still joined by the Eisner Nominated Kyle Starks here. So, I want to get right into it. Your book that you were nominated for was Sex Castle. Tell us a little bit.
The first time I was nominated.
Yeah,
I've been
exactly.
nominated twice. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Sex Castle is my love letter to 80s action movies. I'm, again, 42. I was raised on them. My father watched every bad 80s action movie on VHS, and he never seemed to care that his 8-year-old child or whatever was in the room. So it really poisoned me. Yeah, Sex Castle made my career. It's really funny. It's full of action. It's also about parental responsibility and personal decisions. It's nominated for Best Humor Publication. It's my favorite book of all time. Some of it is because, like I said earlier, it sort of made my career. Sure. If that didn't happen, if people weren't attracted to it, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I wouldn't be in Michigan. They flew me out because of it, you know? So
yeah.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So, so a couple of your books are potentially, like you said, the Russo brothers. What's going on with those right now? So exactly.
You know what? They don't tell you anything.
Nothing at all?
No. Whenever it's time to renew the option, they say yes or no. Everything I have, everything except for Mars Attacks, which is obviously something else, has been optioned. So I've been really lucky.
So only like they just give you any in the loop at all. Like, how does that process work? They call you? Like, how does that process work for them telling you that?
So I have an agent. He does all that stuff.
Sure.
And then, like, I spoke to the Workaholics way back when. I think it was 2015. I don't know if that's even right. Yeah, I talked to somebody, and then they either say yes or no, and they give me not as much money as you would think, unfortunately. And then you hope they make the movie, which they haven't yet. For Kill Them All, which was through Oni, and Sex Castle, both reached a script stage.
Okay.
Which means that's pretty close. I haven't heard anything since on either one, so I don't.
When was the last update? Like a couple months ago, a year ago?
Probably like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
But that's like
That's normal?
Yeah, I mean, the option's easy to get. It's like the movie's hard to get, right? So it's nice for them to say an option because that means it's good enough it was worth somebody to spend X amount of dollars. Man, we need that movie. I want any of them.
Yeah,
I don't care. Like one of them, I'm set for a while to be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
But how close they are, I don't know. I'm not in Hollywood,
Yeah.
and I think they like that. So I think.
So when you go into things like that, what is it like when because you're talking about kind of handing over creative control in a sense. So for you, what is that feeling like of saying, here's my baby?
It's interesting. You know, I know a lot of peers who say differently than I have, but they've not gone as far as I have with the option stuff. Look, that's my baby. I birthed it. I made it. It's perfect. If someone wants to take my baby and pay for it to go to school, like I'm okay with that.
That's a great way to say it.
I just got one of the scripts I just mentioned was so remarkably bad. Like not bad because it was my beautiful thing turned into a bad. It was so bad. I'm probably going to try to write for scripts in the future, just because like it was so bad I couldn't believe it was real.
Yeah.
But for the most part, my thing is like it's very Alan Moore, but not as angry. Like if someone wants to do it, what do I care?
Sure.
Hey, just give me the money, and then that thing, even if it's bad, will sell my book, and my book is good. That's how I feel about it.
Sure.
I'm just because there's so much money, I'm becoming more interested in script writing, but it's not my expertise. I make comic books. They're two different things.
When you're learning as you're going, and it's kind of like you've almost found like a niche, you know what I mean? Like, hey, why not just do
if someone wants to also let me do that, I'm okay with it.
Sure.
It's like, man, I really like this other thing. That's less money.
Yeah, right.
In the big scheme of things, right?
Yeah, sure.
So you're doing all this stuff. You got a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
What's on your plate right now? What are you working on right now? You know, what's going on in your life?
I mean, I can't talk about anything. I don't have anything right now. So Rick and Morty, the main comic book series, is ending at 60. So my time with Rick and Morty will be over soon. I'm moving on to not working on creator stuff for so long it's fun to play in their sandbox, but it's like, that's not, people are gonna think I'm Justin Roiland all weekend. It's very frustrating. So I'm doing another book for Skybound. I just did a book for Skybound called Assassination, which is about the world's former greatest hitman hiring 20 of the world's best hitmen to be his bodyguards. And I'm doing another one, which is like a movie mystery, but I can't talk about it, it's not out yet. And that's it, man. I'm sort of in a real comic book hustle phase right now. I got a lot of stuff on the table, but
just trying to get your hands on everything, basically.
I'm trying to get as many books from different publishers right now because I've only worked with Image, Skybound, Oni, which is 3 out of 12, not including like the young adult market. So it's like working on Rick and Morty was such a focus point for me for so long, and I'm sure I'll be back. I mean, I've done more than everybody else. I'm the best at it. I sit on TV.
Yeah, you said it.
I'm the best
You
at
said
it.
it's all the cameras.
I'm
You
the
said it's
best
all the
that's
cameras.
not on the TV show.
Hopefully
the
one
best.
day you'll be there. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
So yeah, I'm just trying to get a bunch of books made. Man, I'm just trying to tell stories for a living and make people happy. Like that's my whole shtick.
Yeah. Well, before we close out, where can people find you online and all that
Ooh,
stuff?
I'm at the Kyle Starks everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Tinder. I'm not on Tinder. I don't know.
No Tinder, no Tinder. All right, so not Justin Rowland. This is Kyle
Not Justin
Starks.
Rowland.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Thanks
for
for having me,
being on the show
guys.
with us. It
I'm
was
glad
such
to
a
be here in
pleasure.
Michigan for the first time.
That was
Oh, well,
awesome.
yeah, enjoy.
Congratulations for being here.
Yeah, welcome to the city.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, Kyle Starks. And when we come back, we'll have more coverage of TV Warren's coverage of the Great Lakes Comic Convention.
Coming up next on TV Warren's coverage of the Great Lakes Comic Convention, Ben Smith checks out this year's prototype board games.
I will be getting back to the Cineplex soon to give you more reviews.
We have a great show lined up for you this time around.
Hi, my name's Paul Smith, host of People, Parks, and Programs right here on TV Warren. Tune in every month for our show, People, Parks, and Programs. I'll take you through all the upcoming activities that are taking place in the city of Warren every month. We'll give you all the latest updates from the Parks and Recreation Department, including how to sign up for things like exercise classes, sporting events, birthday parties, and much more. Whether it's winter, spring, summer, or fall, Warren Parks and Rec is a special event for all. So keep it tuned right here every month on TV Warren for People, Parks, and Programs.
Board games have been around for a long time, and I bet you think you've tried them all. But here at the Great Lakes Comic Convention, some of the creators here are really trying to launch their game, and we sent Ben to go check out some of the prototype games. Ben?
All right, folks, we are back at the gaming tables. Each and every year, I love to display a new game here at the Great Lakes Comic Convention. And this year we have a returning guest with us from year one of our coverage here at the Great Lakes Comic Convention, Mr. Marc Spector. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So last time we battled at a little variation of tic-tac-toe.
Oh, Pocket Ops, yeah.
Pocket Ops, and we're back this year with a new game. Tell us a little bit about the game in front of us here.
Sure, so this is Shikoku.
Yep.
It is a game that was originally published by a company called GDM in Spain, and they actually localized Pocket Ops to their Spanish market, and they gave me the opportunity to localize Shikoku to the North American market. And I'm actually not really a fan of racing games typically, but the way this game played out was so different and so clever, I said, yes, I have to have it.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about that. It's a little different than the typical, like you want to, it seems like you want to reach the top, but not so.
Right, so in most races in life, you want to come in first, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but this is not the case because Shikoku is a real island in Japan, and it is an island with a temple where Buddhists go to chant mantras and contemplate, and Buddhism is a religion based on moderation and not extremes. Winning, coming in first is the extreme, right? So this game plays 3 to 8, and in a full game of 8 people, you actually want to come in second to last or second, and there's actually 2 winners in the game.
Gotcha.
So yeah, basically you will play cards over the course of a turn, you will jockey for position, and then essentially the game will end when someone reaches the top, but that person doesn't win. That person has ended the game. Second and second to last win the game. Okay. And one of the great things is that the game is so speedy, even if you have 8 players, you're going to be done in like 30 minutes.
Right.
It's a nice, quick, yet strategic game that can handle a lot of players. Right now what we've set up is a 5-player game, and there are 33 total steps, and we're about halfway there. On a turn, everyone is going to play a card, and those cards then get ordered sequentially from lowest to highest. We have
these
4
cards here?
Yeah,
So
those
these,
are, yep, exactly. They're called mantra cards, and they all have a number on them between 1 and 33, and they all have a number of sandals on them. They get ordered by the number. In this case, we have 4, 7, 14, 20, and 25, and they all have a number of sandals on them. And essentially what happens is the second and second to last cards, just like are the winners, they will not move. So we can put those little pawns down and just get them out of the way. So what happens now is green is going to move up 4 steps from 21 to 25.
Okay.
Red is going to move up 3 steps from 19 to 22. And brown is actually going to move up 6 steps from 19 all the way to 25 as well. Going into another turn, we now have a little cluster at the back, a little cluster at the front, and red kind of has a decision to make. Does red want to play more to the back or play more to the front? And that's, you know, a decision that red will make.
All right.
On our next turn, green and brown really don't want to move, because once you get here, you lose. Once you get here, the game can end within 1 turn. That's why the steps turn golden, is because it's an indicator to all the players that it can come to an end pretty quick. And then of course, you know, here, black is in a great position, but chances are purple is going to move ahead, which means black has to calculate for that and try to play a card that's going to get ahead of purple, but not too far ahead of purple.
Gotcha, okay.
So there's actually quite a bit of thinkiness.
Yeah.
These cards would clear, everyone has 3 cards in hand, they're going to play another set of cards, and then do it all over again, all the way until the game ends.
Okay.
And that is Shikoku in a nutshell.
All right, we are back here with Marc Spector. Shikoku was the game that we just played a little while ago, and it's a super interesting game. And again, just for the folks at home, where can they find the game?
Sure, so actually it should be at your friendly local game store, because I am in distribution.
Sure.
Otherwise, you can order from my website at grandgamersguild.com, along with all the other games that we offer.
Perfect, so there's that game, but that's not the only game that's here that these folks represent. So we got the Artemis Project here as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, so the Artemis Project is the story of colonizing Europa above and below the ice. You know, there's real science behind that, in the sense that there was a real Artemis Project that looked at life on our moon as well as life on Europa as a, you know, colonization type thing. And it's a dice placement, engine building, resource management game where you're building buildings, moving colonists around. You know, we just released it last year, and they're super proud of it. It's been quite a hit in gaming communities. We have a huge, our line is really diverse. So 15-minute games all the way up to 2-hour games, all different mechanics, all different levels of strategy and depth.
Are you working on any newer games that aren't here that you're percolating a little bit?
Always, always. So we have on Kickstarter right now, or pre-order as the case may be, a game called Grinto. It is our first abstract game. Basically move tiles, collect tiles, build your engine, and score the most points by the end of the game.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of TV Warren's coverage of the Great Lakes Comic Convention.
But we will be back to bring you much more from the Great Lakes Comic Con floor coming up in our next episode. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.